Kristaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyatya Deshatarne Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivas Adi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchkalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So let us begin by reciting the pranam mantra of Srila Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Gauravir bhava bhumes tvam nirdeshta sajjana priyaha Vaishnava sarva bhoma Sri Jagannathaya te namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Jagannath Das Babaji, who is respected by the entire Vaishnav community and who discovered the place where Lord Caitanya appeared. Yes, respected anyway. That's a translation. Vaishnav Sarvabhauma really means the commander-in-chief of the devotees. Yes. Right. So, just a sec, let's see what we're doing here. What are we doing? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, devotees, so here we go. Srila Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj was not exactly the initiating spiritual master of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but they were very, very close, and he was like a Siksha Guru to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. No one knows exactly when he appeared in this world, but it is assumed that it was around 1750 by the Western calendar, in a remote village in the area called Mayaman Singh in what is now Bangladesh. So he was the disciple, his sannyas guru was Madhusudan Das Babaji Maharaj, who was a disciple of Uddhava Das Babaji Maharaj, who was a disciple of Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan. So it's just, in that sense, a couple of generations. So his youth, his upbringing, and until he renounced the world, actually, and really just fully devoted himself to Krishna consciousness, all those years before that, there seems to be no record. We have no record, at least. But certainly at some point, that's all we could say, I think. He came to Vrindavan, and he he would move around, stay in different sacred places, usually under trees, and chant. And that's all. And he would regularly chant for 3 days and 3 nights in a row without sleeping and without eating. In other words, he was extreme. And after finishing that vow, then he would break fast with flat rice and yogurt, prasad. Let's see. So in the year 1880, means he may have been alive 130 years. If not, it was certainly over 100 years. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur got the association of Srila Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj in Vrindavan. And let's see. So in 1893, Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj, was living in Kulia. Kulia is now part of Navadvip town in West Bengal. It's just, if you're familiar with Navadvip, it's just slightly to the north. It's still within Navadvip, but it's on the northern side, shall we say, the northern side of Navadvip. And that place is still there. That place is still there. His deities, his Govardhan Shila, Giridhari, yeah. And his little Radha Krishna deities, and his little Gaur Gopal deity, they're still there. And his Samadhi is there, his Bhajan Kutir is there, on a little branch of the Ganges. And that little Govardhan Shila, well, I mean, it's not really that little, it's sort of normal size, if there is such a thing. It's like this size, kind of. He would every day, until the actual day he left this world, he would offer 1,000 dandavats to that Govardhan Shila every day, including the day he left this world. So, the timing is a little confused. He associated closely with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and knowing that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was expert in astronomy and astrology, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj asked him to produce an authentic Vaishnav calendar. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, on his instruction, did. And that's called the Navadvip Panjika, and it's still used today. Still used today, at least by the Gaudiya Math. Let's see. He actually had a few disciples. One was a Bhagavat Das Babaji, who became the Babaji or Sannyas Guru of Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And his other one, there were a few disciples at least, but the main one was a devotee named Bihari. Bihari was big, powerfully built, younger person. And when Srila Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj became older, which was by this time that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was, like a youth, like that. So Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, by that time, he could not really walk due to old age. His body was bent over. Yeah. And his eyes wouldn't open. He had to have his eyes opened for him. Yeah, so Bihari would carry him around in a basket. And there were a number of incidents. Here's one incident. As they were traveling somewhere, Bihari, big, strongly built younger man, and Srila Jagannath Das Babaji in the basket, sort of hanging from his shoulder, from Bihari's shoulder, a gentleman passed by and, seeing the elderly sadhu, donated 1 rupee, which in those days, we're talking about well over 100 years ago, 1 rupee was worth something. Prabhupada said that in his childhood, a household, a whole family could be fed with vegetables, etc., rice and so on, for less than a rupee, fed for a week for less than a rupee. So, 1 rupee, it's something. So they walked on. And then suddenly, they walked on for some kilometers, some distance. Suddenly, Babaji Maharaj told Bihari, "Take me back to that man, the man who gave the money." So Bihari took him back, some, maybe several kilometers, something like that. And Babaji Maharaj returned the 1 rupee and said, "I understand you have a great deal of money. I couldn't bear the burden of 1 rupee. And I wonder how you tolerate the burden of so many rupees." Yes. So another place. So that place there I mentioned in Navadvip, on the northern side of Navadvip town, that's one of the places connected with him. Another place which is very much connected with him is at Surya Kund. You been to Surya Kund? Nice. Have you been to Surya Kund? Did you come with us? Maybe you did. The sun deity of Surya. Oh, you didn't? Okay. Anyway, it's nice. Big kund. And temple of Surya. And then there's this Babaji place sort of around on the other side of the kund, where there's a bhajan kutir of Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. So he stayed there for some time, and asked Bihari, told Bihari, I would like to get deities. Can you get me some deities? So Bihari went, would you believe, all the way back to Navadvip, or back to Katwa, which is almost to Navadvip, and he got Gaunitai deities, along with donations for looking after the Gaunitai deities. And these Gaunitai deities were then installed there at Surya Kund. And they're such beautiful deities. They were brass deities, but they were just so beautiful, so effulgent, they looked like they were gold. So some dacoits came and tried to steal the deities, thinking they were actually gold. But the story goes, they were, and these deities are like this size. This size. They're not big. So that the dacoits could not lift the deities. This is how the story goes. And they ran. So, but in the morning, it was discovered that the deities had been interfered with. So, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj told Bihari to take those deities and give them to a family in Vrindavan town. So he did. Bihari went, and those deities, they're called Sona Gauranga. They're Gaunitai, but they're called Sona Gauranga, golden, Sona meaning golden. Golden Gauranga, and they're in Vrindavan town now. And when we go there on our parikrama, Haribol, we'll go and have darshan of them. Yes, they're nice deities. They're nice deities. He also at one point worshipped Sadbhuja Caitanya, Lord Chaitanya with 6 arms. That deity is also in Vrindavan, not far from Sona Gauranga, just on the way to Radharaman. So, but then, after a little while, so those deities went to the family in Vrindavan. Some days later, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj said that he could not live without deities. So that's when he was given Sadbhuja Caitanya. Yeah. And Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj worshipped Sadbhuja Caitanya for 10 years. So then, from Surya Kund, they went, Bihari carried Babaji Maharaj to Mathura railway station. And you must know, from Surya Kund, that's a fair distance. That's probably 30 kilometers or something. Yeah. And they went to Navadvip. Actually, they got off the train at Ambika Kalna, which is just 20 kilometers from Navadvip, and stayed there for 10 days. And then they went to Navadvip. Every year, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj would observe a form of Ekadasi. For the first month, he would take 4 bananas a day. In the second month, he would take 4 guavas. In the third month, he'd take a cup of buttermilk every day. And the fourth month, he'd have a flower of the banana palm. One time, Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj went to Rishikesh. Would you believe? Rishikesh, gosh, way up, just where the Himalayas are beginning. You've been Rishikesh? Where you been? Sorry, it's just a joke. You've been to the important places. But Rishikesh is nice. It's interesting. So he went to Rishikesh to purify his chanting on the banks of the Ganges. And he took a special vow that for 3 months he would get up at 3 a.m, chant inside a closed room until sunset without speaking or eating, and take bath after stool passing urine, and take bath after passing air, full bath. So he took this 3-month vow then in Rishikesh. After 2 months, inadvertently somehow he spoke to Bihari. And then he realized, and he started three months again from the beginning. Yeah, began the entire process again and completed his vow after 3 months. Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj was, a very interesting thing which happened was that in Vrindavan, he would beg, he would do, they call it madhu curry, going door to door to the householders and shopkeepers and just begging something to eat. So sometimes he would go to in Vrindavan there is a Bangi area. If you know the Bangi area, yeah. I mean, you got to go through it on the way to the pilgrimage place of Loy Bazaar. Yeah. That's a joke, by the way, if you don't understand. But you got to go through it. It's right next to the Muslim quarter. Yeah. So he went begging roti there. And the bungis means the street sweepers. The sweepers, I mean, they're basically called the sweepers. But they're the ones, they go down into the toilets and clean everything out, etc., etc. It's really, not nice. But one time, or sometimes, he went and begged roti there. And some of the, the Brahmins and the kind of more caste-conscious people, they complained that you're such a famous Vaishnav. You're the leader of the Babajis in the Vrindavan area. You can't take except food from these bungis there because they're considered untouchables. Like really untouchables. So Jagannatha Das Babaji said to them, "Do you know who these sweepers are?" Before Lord Krishna appeared in Vraja, he asked 88,000 sages to take birth there in low-class families. because he wanted them to get the opportunity to get the dust of Vrindavan. And how better to get the dust than by sweeping the dust. Yeah. So, yes. So these people, their bodies are smeared with the dust of Vrindavan all day, and therefore I consider them servants of Vrajadam, and I see them as no different from any other Vaishnavas. So, let's see. Okay. Okay. Once when he was standing in Navadweep, one very wealthy family, the famous landlord Srinath Roy, with several of his family members, went to have darshan of the Siddha Baba, because this is how he was often referred to and addressed, as Siddha Baba. And there's a practice in Vrindavan, even to this day, that certain of the Babajis are addressed like that, whether they are, but maybe they are, but anyway. It's a term which is used. So this family came and walked in, these wealthy people, and there was Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, just sort of, sitting there on the side chanting. And they asked him, "Do you know where the famous Siddha Baba is?" But Siddha Babaji. That's Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. And Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj said, "There's no Siddha Babaji here. You're at the wrong place." Then suddenly they realized that he is the Siddha Babaji. And they asked him, "Can you please show a miracle? Can you do a miracle for us?" And Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj became disturbed. And he said, I don't know how to perform any miracles." Then suddenly, he's in this kind of slightly angry mood. Suddenly picked up a stick and started beating the ground. Bang, bang, bang. And the people, Mr. Srinath Roy and family, thought, because he had expressed himself quite angrily, they thought, oh gosh, he's angry with us. And so they apologized, begged for forgiveness. And Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj said, "I'm not angry with you. I'm chasing out a goat that was eating the tulsi plant near the cottage of Lokanath Goswami at Radhakund, Vrindavan area. It's, a couple of 1,000 kilometers away. Yeah, I was chasing out that goat that was eating the tulsi plant." So the Roy family, they're just amazed, How could it be? This is just so extreme. So what they did, they sent immediately a reply-paid telegram to Radhakund to find out, was there a goat eating the tulsi plant by Lokanath Goswami's Bhajan Kutia, his Bhajan Kutia, yeah. So, and they got a reply back the next day that yes, a goat went there and ruined the tulsi plant there. Hare Krishna. It's a miracle. So one time, while they're living in Navadvip, Bihari became very ill. He had very severe fever, he was delirious, and it looked very bad. And a doctor came, some super specialist from Calcutta came and said, I'm so sorry, he's about to depart. In a few hours, he will be gone. So Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj then sat next to Bihari, put a tulsi leaf in his mouth, in Bihari's mouth, and began chanting Hare Krishna. Within half an hour, Bihari was completely cured and was able to get up and go and cook for Babaji Maharaj. So Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj would say the best time for chanting was from 3 in the morning till 7 in the morning, and again from sunset until 11 o'clock at night. He said, no serious-minded devotee should sleep during these hours, as Lord Shiva comes to inspect the devotees of his Guru, Lord Krishna, at those times. Hare Krishna. Watch out. Okay. Then Bihari, this youngish man, actually was with him for many, I think 30-something years, or he was with him for a really long time. But he was illiterate and didn't even know the alphabet. He couldn't recognize the letters of the alphabet, let alone have vocabulary and all these types of things. So one day, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj asked him, can you please read Caitanya Charitamrita to me? I want to hear a reading. And Bihari said, I'm illiterate. I can't read at all. And this is Navadvip, so it's Bengali. And Bengali is not easy to read. So he complained, or he just reminded his spiritual master of his illiteracy. But Babaji Maharaj requested him, simply have a look at the book for some time and then start reciting the verses. Within minutes, Bihari Das found he was able to recite the pastimes, read all the pastimes from Caitanya Charitamrita. So of course, on another occasion, people would donate. They'd make donations to him. Bihari would keep all the donations, keep them safe. So one time, the store of donations came up to 200 rupees, to 200 rupees, which was, a decent sum in those days. It really was. Probably some thousands, good few thousand rands, a good few thousand. So what he did, he told Bihari, buy rasgullas, 200 rupees of rasgullas in those days. because you get many rasgulas for 1 rupee. We're talking probably of thousands of rasgulas. And he told Bihari, give them to the cows. Don't give any to the rascal human beings. Just give them to the cows. On another occasion, a dog gave birth to 5 puppies just by the river, because the Babaji Maharaj's ashram was right next to the river, literally, just right there. So she gave birth to 5 puppies. And, the little puppies, they grow up quickly. So, as, some days or a couple of weeks or whatever it might be went on, then when Babaji Maharaj would take lunch, these little puppies would gather and eat off his plate. And Bihari came and tried to shoo them away, get them out. Because, dogs are low class, generally. But when he did that, Babaji Maharaj got angry and said, take my plate away. I will not eat anything more today. So Bihari then had to, he put the plate back down. He had to get the dogs, put them around the plate. And like this, Babaji Maharaj would take lunch with the dogs every day for some time. And from time to time, while he's taking lunch, he would look at these little dogs and say, these are the dogs of the Dham. Means they're actually sacred personalities. Let's see. Of course, the main pastime which Srila Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj is most famous for was confirming the location of Lord Chaitanya's appearance place. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they were very close. They were very close associates. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was trying to find the place. Because there was a place which the caste Brahmins and caste Goswamis and the upper Sampradayas, the Sahajiyas, and all these people, I tell you what, they're such a group. They had a place on the other side, on the western side, which they said was the birthplace. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, through his research, and so much research he did, he understood it was actually on the eastern side, not on the western side. So he was looking around. He got maps, and he found on some old British maps Mayapur, one area called Mayapur on the eastern side. And Mayapur, that's where Lord Chaitanya appeared. So, but it wasn't exactly confirmed. But there was one place which was kind of slightly raised. I mean, not a hill by any means. Barely, not even a hillock, really, but just, maybe slightly. above the surrounding ground. And he thought this might be it. Bhaktivinoda Thakur thought, because there was a whole forest of tulsi trees growing there. So he took Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Bihari brought Jagannath Das Babaji in the basket. And, this, of course, this is 1896. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj is probably more than 140 years old. Yeah. So he was carried there and then brought to this place in slightly raised land with many, many tulsis, just overgrown with tulsis. And when Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, his head, Bihari lifted up, he's sitting like this. Bihari lifted his head up, opened his eyes, and Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj looked around. Suddenly, he became just overwhelmed with ecstasy, and he jumped out of the basket, and he was leaping up 12 feet up into the air, just into the air, in ecstasy, and proclaiming, this is the place. And that's how our Lord Chaitanya's birthplace was identified, by Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Yes. So anyway, he passed away. Actually, I'm not sure when he passed away. I'm not sure. I couldn't say. But it must have been very shortly after that. And just one final little point. Even though he had a few disciples, not a lot of disciples, but a few, he would not leave prasadam remnants at all. And he was so people would come and they'd want some mercy or whatever. But he was just so much into not letting people have his remnants. Sometimes, of course, they use leaf plates. In Navadvip, at least, they use banana palm leaf plates. And in Vrindavan, some like patal leaf plates. Sometimes he would eat the leaf plate just to avoid giving anyone remnants. So today is his, what is it? Disappearance day. I guess there's some date for when he disappeared. Offhand, I don't know.
They say on Krishna.com 1894.
1894. I don't think it could be, because it was 1896 they discovered the birthplace. Yeah, that was definitely 1896. That could be just some sort of Babaji group, not to be taken too seriously. So devotees, there you go. There you go. These are some incidents and pastimes and different things from the life of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki. Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki. Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Go Premanande. Haribol, Haribol.